First of all, many thanks to the organizers for the invitation. It's because I'm really surprised that it's my first defensive talk, because usually I'm talking about offensive things. A few words about me. I'm more recognizable by my nickname, CocoMLNC, and just an author of different books related to malware development. So this doesn't matter, because this research started because after release one of my books, some threat actors and cyber criminals started to write me and try to hire me for cyber criminal activities for Russian intelligence and Russian cyber espionage. So I decided to find them via public links. So just why we have the big problem in Kazakhstan, like encountered the problem too many cyber criminals and intelligence persons started to writing the telegram of our cybersecurity specialists and try to hiring them. So of course, first of all, a little bit agenda. So few words about the database leaks. It's about the impact of the database leaks today for the cyber threat intelligence, and a few words about the APT groups and some nation-state threat actors like Russian intelligence, Iranian and Chinese hackers. And of course, I will try to explain some proof of concept, how you can do it, how you can use it, some open source tools, and huge of the database leaks for identifying them with these tools. A few words about database leaks. As you know, during the years, we have the ton of the leaks, like a Facebook leak and Iranian Telegram leak, and Russian traffic police, NSA by shadow brokers, and different voters and citizenship database leaked. So if you are using a ton of these leaks in the one place, we have the interesting things. We can get the big chance to find something interesting on address links, different databases. So about APT groups, for example, APT Fancy Beards, one of the most sophisticated APTs, famous on cyber attack on Georgia, on Bundestag, and hack of the different US Democratic National Committee and other organizations from the Europe and US. And this in different indictments of the US government, it's identified like a military unit 26165 from the Russian GRU. It's like a general department of the intelligence. It's translated to English. Another one, the APT Sandworm. It's also popular on attacking the different NATO countries, English-speaking countries, the Ukrainian, different power grid, and another campaigns like malware infamous GSL. It's also identified like a military unit in 74455 in GRU. It's everything is last line is doesn't matter in this research. The next one is the APT from Iranian, refined kitten. It's also famous on attack on US and Saudi Arabia and another Gulf countries in the region. And it's some relationship with the Rahasek company from Iran. Another one is Berserk Beer. It's also threat actor. It's also famous on attacking the English-speaking countries, European and US. They're targeted on industrial control system and SCADA. It's also identified as military unit from the 71330 from FSB. It's like Federal Department of the Security in Russia. It's like FBI in US. And last one is a few words about the Stone Panda. It's a Chinese nation-state actor, threat actor. It's use different cyber attacks in the history, like healthcare sector in Europe and US, and intellectual property. And the interesting thing, I will show you some relationship between Uyghur and Kazakh communities outside of China, how they leverage it for cyber espionage activities. A few words before we start, a few words about OCCRP and Aleph framework. What's this? OCCRP is an interesting project. It's used by journalists for the exposing and reporting organized cybercrime investigations. It's also founded with two journalists, Drew Sullivan and Paul Radu from Romania. One of the famous investigations is the Panama Papers with the International Consortium of the Investigative Journalists. And it's also funded by USAID. And it's an interesting tool. It's released in GitHub of this consortium. It's Aleph, open source tool. It's like some interesting tech stack like a Python, Elasticsearch, and RabbitMQ, and it's used for the analyzing tone of the documents, using the OCR for analyzing documents, different databases, different language. So used by journalists and researchers for conducting different investigations. You can find them in the GitHub. It's open source. So I decided to upload different databases like Iranian Telegram leak, like Moscow traffic police, and like Moscow address registration databases, and Chinese leaks like courts, marketing, bank accounts, and of course in the USA leaks like voters, mobile, and marketing. So at the end of this research, I got the significant progress on identifying different military intelligence actors which have some relationship with state-sponsored actors. So what's about a few words about APT and threat hunting. I think this talk not only about the cybersecurity. I think it's also about the national security problem. So how you can identify different threat actors by leaks. For example, usually if you're doing some OSINT, you can just some classic things like Googling, dorking, and different image processing and email processing and digital forensics. But what about how you can find some intelligence guys who are really hiding everything from the internet, no any social media, no any records on internet and Google, and like ClearNet. So if you upload different leaks from the dark web in the one place, you got the interesting results. Let me show. For example, Fancy Beer, as I mentioned before, it's identified as a military unit in 26165 of the General Intelligence Directorate of Russia. It's Hamovnichesky barracks. It's translated in Russian. It's like a Hamovnichesky kazarmy. It's like a big of the barracks of the military unit, and with different type of the military houses in the center of the Moscow. It's the main center of the special service, which engaged in cryptography actions like development, some decryption algorithms, encryption algorithms. It's everything related to the cyber security and cryptology. If you search something about this military unit, it's just found an interesting address in the Komsomorsky Prospect 20. It's like a Komsomorsky hideaway. So just note it and starting some interesting trick. For example, Alexei Sergeyevich Morinets, it's born in July 31 in 1977. It's wanted by FBI, like one of the intelligence officers assigned to this unit. And Morinets was last known to be located in Moscow. So what we're doing for this? Just try to find them from the leak and we found that the same address as a military unit. But in the first look, it's not enough for just identify them. What about the another members of these military units related to the nation state APT? If you check the same address, you can find a ton of the guys from the different leagues like Moscow and traffic police, most of them. It's Moscow medical records and Moscow address records. So it's not enough. I just deep dive into this address and found another leaks and searching the same lines in the database and address line like military unit 26165. It's, as you can see, it's also the same address as the Komsomolsky Prospect 20, like Komsomolsky Highway. So you can find a different type of the different members of this military unit, and they also using which car they are driving, which number, telephone number, date of birth, everything you need for the identify them. Because we have the problem, for example, in some, when I consulting our law enforcement agencies on the operative search activities for starting some courts about why they hiring our citizens for cyber criminal activities. Another one is Sandworm. It's related to military unit 74455, but the big problem is if you try to Google or find some information about this military unit, you cannot find nothing. You found nothing in the internet, in ClearNet. The only interesting information from the US justice site, one of the justice sites, is known address of military unit. But unfortunately, it's a little bit disinformation because when I start to find this address, I have no any idea because I have only two guys that try to search them from the ClearNet and found it is just usually people's. It's not military, nothing any related to the military and APT. But I found interesting wanted list from the FBI. Another guy is Yuri Sergeyevich Andrienko. It's born in May in 1988. It's also assigned to this unit. It's another unit, 74455. It's also known to be located in Moscow in Russia. So we just use the same trick again. Just search him, and you found an interesting address. Only the Khoroshevsky Highway, but no any about the building number. So you can find a ton of the guys from the same address with different address databases. But if you do some OSINT again, you found that this building. It's another military unit in Russia. It's 54726, and the Ministry of Defense of Russia. It's a federal state institution of the Center for Research of the Military Potential of the Foreign Countries. It's more focused on the offensive intelligence actions. It's also related to another address next to the Khoroshevsky Chaussee. It's like Khoroshevsky Highway 86. So in Khoroshevsky Highway 86, you found this military unit. And interesting fact that also next to this building, you can find the interesting company, SteadyHost. In 2008, this company is operating the office of the space next to the 6th General Research Institute. Its IP address is the same IP address. If you check the Wayback Machine and who is databases, leaked who is databases, you found the Stop Georgia is related with this company. It's this site is like a coordination center of the hacker attack during the military conflict between Russia and South Ossetia. It's like if you check the web archive, it's the same site. It's like we are representatives of the Russian hack underground, blah, 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 blah. Like some propaganda. So deep dive into another records and databases. You can also found interesting persons that's related to the Horoshovsky Highway 86 and the same military unit. What about refined kitten? Unfortunately, I just a little bit cut off some slides from the final presentation, but with the same concept, you also can de-anonymize Iranian hackers, like Rahasek company. Just in this case, it's a little bit easier because you have you can find them in LinkedIn, and you can find them from the Telegram, different private groups it's, related to the cyber criminal actions. So I just found them different hackers from the Iranian. It's related to this threat action. Another one is the Berserk Beer. It's another military unit from the Federal Security Directorate from Russia. The interesting thing in the US and UK government assets, it's this APT group is hosted in this military unit. I just found another person. It's Marat Valerievich Tyukov. It's just also another example. It's born in November in 1982 and assigned to this unit. So let's check this, and you can find it's the same that date of birth. And as you can see here, you also can have this guy with Ford Focus. It's a car. It's a registration number, build date, model. It's like a VIN number of the car. And if you check the same address of this guy, you can find another guys like Mikhailov, Alexei, Mikhailov, Veronika, Victoria. It's related to another guy from that's Mikhail Mikhailovich Gavrilov. It's another from the same military unit. So let's check this address, and you can find some guys in the Igonin Alexander Vladimirovich is related to this military unit. So you found the same military unit address and the address line. It's a Moscow database of the like a driver license leak. That's all for this military unit. Not all. It's another guy. It's like a FSB, like a Federal Intelligence Agency, and like also the military unit 71330. It's another address. It's a little bit mixed slides because this address is the same like this address, as you can see, Anokhin Academic of Anokhin Street. So another one is Stone Panda. In this case, it's a little bit different. I have not any leak of the address records or driver license records, but I found interesting leak, a big cluster of the Elasticsearch database of the criminal courts records of the China, and I wondered that most of the military units related and founded from US indictments found the same address like guys from the prisoners. It's most of them is different members of this APT, but it's not Chinese. It's Uyghurs and Kazakh nationals outside of China. In most cases. That's also some correlation between the address and Ministry of the Security addresses in court records. But as I mentioned before, it's not only de-anonyming hackers problem, like de-anonyming bad guys. We have another problem, big problem, and like another side of this research. It's a problem with national security problem. For example, what about if you use, not you, maybe some adversaries or intelligence, like Russian intelligence, also can leverage the same trick for identifying the intelligence officers from US, for example. So we have the problem. For example, what about an SA? Official address, you have the different address. It's a headquarters. It's a Fort Meade in Maryland. And the interesting address in the Hawaii, it's the same address from the cryptology center. It's worked on Edward Snowden. So let's start from this address. You can find someone it's also use this for this register on the US leak, like cell phones, database, on the different database, and database records. Another one is Leonard Hernandez. For ethical reasons, I just hiring the birth date and some phone. But what about the headquarters? It's also ton of the guys. It's like Hopkins, Hendricks, Stanley, Matthew, Nathaniel, and all of them is used also in NSA.gov email. And the interesting thing, most of them use their work email, like corporate email, in the, let me show the database, like people.com. It's not good. As you can see, it's not only problem of the de-anonymizing only hackers, you also can have problems with the de-anonymizing really intelligence officers, law enforcement officers. So what about another address? Like you can find, as you can see, it's a different database leaks, like marketing, also consumer, and that joint regional intelligence leak, people.com. It's a problem is all of them use these corporate emails for their own activities. What about FBI? Okay, just start the Pennsylvania Avenue. As you can see, it's another problem. Is we have this CJ Gigant. It's also high-end phones leak. It's big. One of the few records about phones registered in the US. And we have some interesting correlation between FBI and AOL.com. Why? Because AOL.com is also used by the mail services US government agencies since 19th, and still some FBI veterans and government agencies and employees sign it up to the AOL, still use it for personal purpose. As you can see, why they use it personal purpose for the people.com and other sites, not related to his work. So that's all. A summary of this research is like no any country is immune from the database leaks, from the huge of the leaks, and I think the intelligence agencies also have the vulnerabilities, as you can see. As I mentioned, I just cut off some things for the ethical reasons, of course, because some of them is still working on law enforcement agencies. I think its most important problem is not only about the cyber attacks. Sometimes it's big problems that aim at physical elimination in case of the intelligence and law enforcement officers. So just national security is at risk. That's all. If you have any questions, I'm ready. It's just a few words about my book. If you can order it in Amazon, if you are more offensive things. Thank you.
We want to thank you. Thank you for coming all this way and giving this great talk. And personally, I'm very glad to hear that AOL.com is still holding up strong.
Yeah, as you can see, it's a big problem with officers also. This research started because some guys from Russian intelligence started to wrote me in Telegram like, we can hire you, please, can you help us to writing the full undetectable malware for ransomware actions? No, reject. But they started to like some aggressive actions. So another specialist in Kazakhstan, because we are all of us is a Russian-speaking community, we have the tone of the private Telegram groups, and when some law enforcement ask me like, can you help some identifying these guys? We cannot write the court changes because we have no idea who is it like this. So maybe the same trick, you can use it for your clients from law enforcement for their operational search activities.
I said it as we talked before your talk. I'm very glad that you declined the offer from Russian agencies to stay on the good side of law. So there is some time for questions. Yes, I'm already seeing the hands getting raised. There you go.
How do you know that the data you're looking at wasn't bad data intentionally leaked or intentionally added to the databases to throw off other agencies?
Unfortunately, it's a good question because unfortunately you cannot control the leaking the database from around the world. Because, for example, I also in another research I was showed before in one of the conferences. You can find if you just scan some IP addresses like Shodan, like some standard ports of the Elasticsearch like 9200, you can find huge of the leaks. It's just too many databases like address lines, driver license from around the world, from Argentina, from Philippines, from the Spanish countries, Russian-speaking, English-speaking, I think even in Deutschland we have the same problem because it's about the hacking the peoples, or not about the hacking the systems.
Does anybody else have a question? The cube is currently free.
So we can discuss if you ask some private questions about this.
I think that's
no
maybe
problem.
a big
You are
reason.
welcome.
Nobody wants to come out and ask the big questions right now. So then you can use the time before or the next talk, which will be the closing keynote by Dr. Mark Maisch. You can use the time and maybe talk a little bit in private, or maybe a little bit afterwards when we can grab a beer all together. What do you? Yes, absolutely, Florian. Florian knows my job better than I do. You have to rate the talk, of course.
Thank you.